All right, Mr. Lynn, this is your YouTube walk around video of your brand new 1824 diesel. I told you that we would do one, just kind of go over some of the particulars on it and just make sure you have just some key information up front on how to use this thing. So just want to start off by saying thank you for your business and thank you for your service. Mr. Lynn is a veteran and just always appreciative of the service and the sacrifice for both the veteran and their caregiver, and just can't say thank you enough there for that. But let me grab the camera, we'll do a quick walk around, show you a couple of key components and things, and we'll just do this as a virtual handoff. All right, so I'm actually going to start this video with the live deck down, and the reason for that is find a big level area around the woodlot that you've got. And what we want to do is try to set this thing up on about as flat of ground as possible. And there's a couple of reasons for that, which I'll get into here. When we ship this, the live deck obviously will be up, but I will take these vertical legs out of it. So what we've done is everything's kind of on square or on level. So I've kind of come in with the white paint pen and gave you a little bit of a mark so you know where to kind of start off at, just kind of give you a baseline since we're sending these out, you know, without the legs in it. It'd just be a little bit quicker setup. There's the white line you can kind of see if I can get the camera to focus on it. There it is. And so what we normally do is there's 5 legs. So we go with like a long one, a short one, a long one, a short one, and a long one. And what we do that for is if you come in square over top of this with, you know, like a grapple bucket or your forks, you have the 2 taller posts that if you go to back out, you know, it'll stop the wood from coming off the back of the deck. And then if you have a longer one, again, you're going to catch it on the left and on the right. It just gives you room to get in and out with the machine. So that's why we kind of stagger them that way. It's just kind of every other one is a long one. And so it's just for setup purposes at your place, you know, you'll see the white paint marks on there. And it's fairly level here on our asphalt pad. But that's what we have going on with the live deck. So let me jump on the controls here and I'll see if I can't show you how to set all this stuff up. All right, so before I start making noise, just gonna go over a couple of key things on here. The blue knob is your automatic oiler for the saw bar. So basically if you take this all the way clockwise, you choke it off. If you go all the way counterclockwise, it opens it up. Right about where I have it set now is where we've been running it. Again, you just want like a good mist coming off of the saw, so when you actuate the saw, that chain spins, you'll just see a little bit of mist kind of coming off of the bar and chain itself. Now if you get gobs of oil that are raining down from up inside the saw guard, you're just wasting oil at that point, but you do want to keep it fairly lubed up. Next on this is going to be all these different gauges. So splitter pressure, you're always going to read something up near 3,000 pounds. It's going to range between 2 and 3,000. The only way to really get it go this high is to extend the pusher plate all the way out to the wedge itself and then stand on it. Then you'll hear everything go in. Especially with that 2-stage pump, you're going to get a lot of speed and tonnage out of this ram. Clamp pressure. This is actually related to the little cylinder here that works this clamp arm that comes down to secure the wood. And why this gauge is important, we always like to see something above 400, preferably up to like maybe 550. And what this is, when you grab, you know, the lever here to work the saw, which is just pull it straight back so it gets caught up in the little groove here, the grabber arm goes first to touch the wood and then clamp it securely, and then the saw comes down. And that saw comes down is because when you reach that 500 pounds or more of pressure on the clamp, it opens the valve and sends the oil over to the saw to actuate. So when you go to return the saw goes back first, and then the clamp arm opens up. Now, there's 2 saw pressure gauges. This one in the hundreds is actually like if you were running your chainsaw and you're pulling up on the back handle to make it bite in more. This is only going to go maybe 150 pounds or so, not much on the hundreds side of things. Now this one over here that's listed in the thousands, this is your internal saw pressure. So the actual saw motor itself is going to show you the pressure there. Conveyor speed is just that. This is a flow valve that works the speed of the chain going up the ramp. And then we have 3 levers, your forward, neutral, reverse. The middle one works the second half of the conveyor, which is this part here that comes up and over the splitter trough itself. And then this is the main conveyor up and down. So the only other valve that works the conveyor is over here in the middle of this, because this works your left to right to that pivot, your wedge up and down, and your log deck up and down. Pretty much you are going to live with your right hand on this lever and your left hand on the auto cycle. So you're going to advance in the next piece of wood. So when you go to this left motion, the chain infeeds here. If you overextend, you can go to the right, and that sends it back out towards the hitch on the unit. And then obviously pull them both back, and that's your split. One pops, and then the other one pops on the return cycle. And for the live deck itself, you get the actual feed it into the chain or push it out towards the vertical legs. So it's going to be a lot clearer once you kind of get on this and, you know, make it run back and forth. The last log holder, you know, this brings it out to the position that it's in, and then you bring it back towards you and it puts it away. It's actually the same motion as the cut with the saw, so it's kind of, you know, unique that way that they both work together. You bring them both back to cut and then to put away the saw or the last log holder itself. So positive log stop is set right around 16 inches now. Each hole on this is an inch, so move it forward shortens it up, move it away makes it a little bit longer. We have the auto tensioner part of the saw operation out there on different videos. I won't bore you there. We'll go over the conveyor setup here in a second. Just want to finish the walk around. While we're talking about the splitter and things, occasionally you have a piece of wood that comes out and over. So this is your rear auxiliary. Sometimes that can get bumped and it'll lock either direction. And what we've done, we put a little loop of hose in here. So just in case that valve does get turned on, just the oil can go through and not create just that dead pressure squeeze and squeal. Because then you'll feel everything up here on the splitter and the saw, it all kind of slows down because you're wasting pressure here on the valve just with nothing in it. This is the bar and chain oiler. I'll splash this in just there, or maybe down like a half a gallon or so, and that way it's good for transport and you're starting fresh. The oil cooler should kick on around like 120 degrees, and there's an actual sight glass and temperature gauge built into the side of the tank. There it is. If I can get the camera in here right and hit my head more than once. So that's the temperature gauge in there, and it's pretty accurate. It's about 54 degrees out here now. So that's your oil level, because we have, you know, the conveyors fold up, so there's a lot of chrome. So we'll see how that changes once we open it up, but that's your baseline for starting there. Both valves always need to be open. The only time I shut them is if I'm doing something with the actual oil tank itself. Yes, hello, me again. I had to flip the camera around so I could show you where this is at, because I couldn't get the angle and see what I was doing. So back in down here, that is your fuel filter, and that black round piece on top is the plunger ball. So just squeeze that a couple of times, push it in and out, and it'll fill up the fuel filter, and that is what makes restarting a whole lot easier. This is your oil filter up on top, and actual oil level is right there. So pretty easy to get into. Probably should have brought the camera around this way versus trying to do that backwards. Yay! There's the fuel filter. So just in case, the very first 1824 diesel we ever brought off the trailer, you know, we kind of tipped it so it would come down the ramps, and there wasn't a lot of diesel fuel in the tank, and it ran out of fuel. So that's how I found where that little primer ball is. So again, we'll top everything off. We'll splash another 10 or 15 gallons of diesel fuel in there for you to get all that up to top level. The little toolbox here is going to have a couple things in it for you. We've got a brand new chain. These are an 18HX093E, and what that is, there's 93 driver links on that chain. This is for the auto tensioner, a little jig piece here, an extra hitch pin, and then if you ever take the bar out of the auto tensioner, this has to go back in just to keep everything pressed and sealed and right inside the auto tensioner itself. And let me set the camera up in the tripod, and we'll go over the live deck up and down, and then the conveyor fold out and set up. All right, so just again for the initial transport from Pennsylvania to Kansas, we're going to take those upper feet out because it actually saves me about 3 inches worth of height. So again, we'll have those on a separate pallet, all banded together. And again, we did put the white paint marks across them, so you have somewhere to start with for setting up on your property. There's going to be a couple of safety chains. Go ahead and pull those out. That frees up the log deck to come down. When we talked about those 3 levers on the inside, that log deck one is all the way on the right. And again, just ease it down. So like the first time setup, if you stop about there, you should be able to get the leg into it and then pin it. And what you want is a nice level spot with each leg being nice and solid on the ground. You might, if your work area isn't quite level, one leg might have to come up, one might have to go down. But again, we put that paint mark in here just for an average of a level spot for a little bit quicker setup, so you're not guessing. If you leave it too high, then the logs roll in. If you go too low, then sometimes they just spin on the table. You want the live deck legs nice and level too. All right, now the fun one. This conveyor is awesome. Versus the old ones that you'd have to lay all the way out. It was a gravity swing. They were a pain in the hindquarters. This newer design with all the hydraulics on it is easy. So what we're going to do, I like to pick this one up first, get the second half lower down, put out the kick leg on it, and then finish the up and over on it. And then there's a pipe that we have to take out right here, because that's what keeps the conveyor chain from falling all the way down inside the splitter trough. If you don't take that out, you'll get a big chunk. It'll come up and get stuck underneath the bottom of it. It's more of a pain in the butt than anything, but that's we'll show you that here in a second. So let me fire it up. So we gotta lift this piece. I like getting it up high enough so the chain is off of the rubber. So again, we were using these two controls because this was the lift is actually for up and storage. So what we do, we lowered them out, which down and lower were the same direction on this to set it up. And like I said, I like to get the top piece here off of the rubbers first and then lower the main support section down. Then what we did was I pulled out this T-handle, and that's what allowed this leg to come down. Now, this is a height adjustable piece. This is in the all the way up position, so like every 6 inches coming up this tube, this kind of the H part will go down, and you can kind of pin it for different heights. And then there was that tube I was telling you about, which is right here. You take out the hitch pin and the R-clip there. This will slide out through the 2 openings. And then what I've been doing, especially like with mine, there's this nifty little lip in here. I've been putting it right in there so it travels with the unit, and it's stored up in here so you don't have to worry about losing it somewhere in the sawdust around the wood yard itself. So if you want to pivot this conveyor, lift it up a little bit so you know the 2 legs here are off the ground, and then it's going to be this middle lever for your right and your left to go back and forth. All right, so on the phone we talked a little bit about grease fittings and such. So it's on this side here, facing down. That way if a big block of wood goes on, we're not breaking off, you know, the grease dirt. So anywhere where you see these big bearings, there's going to be a grease fitting. So pretty much on the processor, if it moves or spins, turns, whatever, there's going to be a fitting, except on this side of the live deck. These are sealed bearings in here. I might spray them with like some of the like a Max roller chain lube. It's got a little bit of a tackifier in it, so I kind of keep that in the toolbox, and I'll spray, you know, each roller chain, you know, going down the line. But you've got these great big, you know, FL 208 bearings. I think they're like 1.25 inches or something. So again, you're going to have, you know, grease zerts the whole way down, and there's 2 per live deck leg. So you got, you know, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, you know, bearings coming down the live deck itself. Then underneath the live deck, just like we had that nose bearing out there, this is another block. And then on the other side of the sprocket, there's another one. We'll show you that. Got your bearing buddies here on the wheels. Conveyor, left, right, top, left, right. Underneath here, they've got a little sticker, you know, for showing a grease down on the pivot. Back in here, it all pivots, so you'll see the grease fitting kind of up here on this crossbar going in. Last log holder, top and bottom. This is that other bearing that I was telling you about from the other side. And pretty much that wraps it up. There's not a lot of grease fittings, but you know, there's enough. So that was what, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, somewhere in that neighborhood. And then of course the axles, if you're towing it around an awful lot, another 4. But that should be it as far as the grease fittings go. All right, so by no means was this a all points covered, completely comprehensive overview of the 1824 diesel. Just more of a quick and dirty walk around, baptism by fire hose kind of thing. So my cell numbers are out there, and we appreciate the business, Mr. Lynn. Once you get this, call me. We'll do another walk around over the phone virtually, or maybe a FaceTime thing, iPhone to iPhone or something. But again, can't say thank you enough for allowing us to earn your business. Lynn watched a lot of video here on the channel, really liked how we showed things off, gave us the phone call, and we were able to earn his business, you know, with the sales quote. It was actually a YouTube short that we did on this video, like at 10 o'clock at night, was the video that caught his eye. So I really don't underestimate the power of a short video, because a 1-minute video led to a $110,000 sale. So it's pretty cool. We can do the longer, 15, 20 minute, 30 minute, big episodes here on the woodlot, but it was that 1-minute YouTube short that caught Mr. Lynn's eye, and that's why we're sending this unit to Kansas. And just like Mr. Lynn, if we can earn your business with the sales quote, would love to be able to do that for you. Give us a phone call. It's 833-SPLITTER. That's 833-775-4887. You can also email me at sales@shaverequipment.com. And our videos are never a paid promotion by the manufacturer. That's why we're always asking for your phone call to get you that sales quote from us. So hope to earn that business. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe channel here, or the button here on the channel. And we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. All right, so I took off the sawdust chute, wrapped it, and put it in the splitter trough. There are 2-gallon jugs of bar oil on the inside. We're here at the fuel pump, making sure that we top everything off. And we took out the live deck legs, and there's the 6-way and the 10-way. And that's just how she'll ship. All right, so we typically use a skid steer with like a hitch plate, because I can lower the hitch down a lot further with the skid steer than I can a pickup truck. So, and what the benefit to that is, the back end of this, where the conveyor is really, really low. So if you can lower that front end, that's what helps keep things from rubbing and going up the ramps here. So let's go ahead and get this done. I just wanted to show you a little process. Mr. Lynn, there you have it. So this is the last time that I'll see it, but thank you again for the business, and hopefully we'll catch you on the next time around when you're looking for another upgrade. Thanks for watching.